The Paranormal Project Radio Show. Here are your hosts, Scott Allan and Khristina Bowen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the show. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. How about you, Khristina? How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing all right. I can't believe this is now the holiday season. We're in it. I mean, this is it. A few more weeks and Christmas and then New Year's and boom, another year. It's hard to believe that it goes by as fast as it does, you know. That's why I thought it would be really great to just do the show with the two of us tonight and talk a little bit about what you do, about the magic, what it is and what it isn't. And, you know, the world is a mess right now. I think we talked about what we can do to cast a spell and hopefully bring some peace to the world and goodwill to all. I think we could all use a little bit of that tonight. So tonight is all about magic and witchcraft. And I'm really surprised you didn't wear your pointy hat and your black cape. Did you bring it?
But I flew in.
You do have your broom. You flew. You fit on that thing? That's a small broom. Hi, Anton.
It's got a wide handle. Yeah.
It's got a wide handle. Yeah, there you go. So, oh my gosh. So tell me about this. I know that this was handed down to you, and we talked a little bit on the very first show that you were with us. This was handed down. Mm-hmm. And your grandmother did it.
Great grandmother.
Oh, great grandmother. Now your grandmother did, and your mom did not. It skipped.
No. My mother had leanings and abilities, is the way I'll phrase it, and experienced a lot of negative blowback the few times that she came out of her broom closet, so to speak. And so she shut down and closed off and just said no more. And I was still welcome to speak with her about things.
Yeah.
But she would encourage me, well, you need to call your granny. That's a question for granny.
There you go.
There was a lot more of that. But my great-grandmother was what you would call a Florida swamp witch. She did not use the term witch. She did not have a fancy leather-bound grimoire or book of shadows. She used her Bible and made notes in the columns and would highlight different things. So she was very eclectic. But a great deal of what magic is a connection to the world around you. Mm-hmm. It's not all reading something out of a book or being taught. We all practice, whether we realize it or not. How many times have you sat in a drive-through line? Gosh, I've got so much to do today. I really wish this line would hurry up. And all of a sudden a car pulls out.
Out of the way, jerk. But there's either way it kind of goes. They move anyway. But yeah,
those little things, that's magic. It's magic in its essence. It exists beyond the realms of ordinary. It's unseen forces at play. And it's almost like a dance between the seen and the unseen world. Mm-hmm. And it's somewhere in the middle. And that's where I like to stay. Now, I'm a big believer in balance of magic. Right. I personally only practice white magic and healing energy. Other people can do other things. It's just not for me. But I do believe that we need balance in our lives and magic and in everything else. So there's a time and a place for other things, but I tend to just always prefer to keep it about positivity and love. Now, I'm not talking toxic positivity. There's a big difference there. But I don't know. The trying to describe magic, there's so many definitions. For me,
Mhm.
it's whispers in the universe. It's falling asleep when there's someone that you've missed dearly and they show up in your dreams.
Mm.
That's magic. The smile on a little child's face that brings that joy and that peace. How can that not be magical? So I take those things, that kind of energy, and apply it into workings. Now, some people will refer to workings as a burn, spell, active prayer, whatever you want to
Mhm.
call it. We all do it. We all do it.
You know, and
And
if I can just, well, I was just going to say, I think what I love talking to you about this is that, you know, I think people who don't know anything about this, and I'm going to be honest, I'm no expert on this at all,
Mhm.
but I think there's this preconceived notion that witches are doing either the work of the devil or they're doing things that are, you know, maybe not completely kosher,
Yeah.
sinful.
Mhm.
And really to hear that your great grandmother had her Bible, I mean, you know, that tells you everything you need to know. This is not
Yeah.
about bad things. This
Mm.
is about
No.
doing good and helping people. And a lot of the things that you do, the teas that you make, the
Mhm.
tinctures that you make, they're all to help people,
They
right?
are. It's all about healing.
It's all about healing. It's not about doing bad things. And you say that there is a dark side to this if you want there to be, you know.
Yes. But isn't there a dark side to everything,
Well,
Scott?
there is a dark side to everything. And you and I talked about this a little bit. Sometimes you can't see the light or appreciate the light without the darkness because the light shines brighter
Yes.
because of the
Yes.
contrast with the dark. I mean, we talk about this in return, you know, in response to hair,
Mm.
right? If you bleach your
Yeah.
hair out completely, it just looks bleachy. But if you have the contrast, the blonde
Mhm.
is even more beautiful. And I think that's how it is potentially, you know, what you're saying. That's how it is with this as well.
It is, and there's levels of everything. And do I do spell work every single day? No. But do I practice magic every day? Yes, I do. I start my morning with a little bit of magic. Even in my coffee, I stir with intention. I
Mhm.
pour my cream. I think about how I want my day to go, and then I put that energy into my coffee before I drink it. And I'm usually watching the sun rise while I'm waiting on my granddaughter to arrive. So it's a very peaceful, calm way to start the day. But it's so simple. So simple. And magic can be grand and very ritualistic with huge bonfires and fancy robes. Those are trappings for the mood. Now, I
Right.
enjoy that from time to time, but it's not required.
Mhm.
You don't really need anything but yourself to perform magic. Now, I work with candles a great deal. I work obviously with herbs. We've talked a lot about that because of the energies that are placed there that are designed for the purposes that we're using. All of the herbs that I work with have what I call clinical medical properties in addition to their magical properties. And when I'm blending, I take both into consideration because that's part of that's part of the healing, the magic of it. And for me, Reiki is a type of magic. It's an energy work. I infuse everything I make with positive love and Reiki energy for an extra oomph, if you will, in everything I do. Magic, it, it's the tiny little things in your day-to-day life. Um, Once again, being it's that dance between the seen and the unseen world, and it's somewhere in the middle, but it doesn't have to be dark and scary. And it really shouldn't be scary at all.
Does it have to be something you're gifted, or can
No,
anybody just decide one day that I want to learn this?
not everybody's a witch. Not everybody
And
needs to be a witch.
yeah,
I'm not a medium, but
right. What makes you a witch, though? Is it something that and that's what I mean when I say, does it have to be gifted?
it's in here. It's in here. Now, I would say I was born this way.
Mm-hmm.
I was brought up under the tutelage of a very
Mm-hmm.
wise witch, but she didn't go by that name once again. And I think a
Right.
lot of people get hung up on the words that we use.
Right. Labels.
I
Yep.
have in my own family, I've experienced that. It's like, well, why do you call it this? And well, why do you call it that? We're doing the same
Right.
thing. We're just doing it a little bit differently.
Right.
But it's not a scary thing. And it's you don't have to be born into this. Like I said, we're all practicing a little bit of magic in our daily life without even realizing it.
Mm-hmm.
Who sits? You've had a quiet morning where you stir your coffee or your tea, have you not? And thought about your day
Not in
and
10
planned
years.
out how you want
I
to.
haven't had that in 10 years, but before then I had it almost every morning, but yeah.
Well, but you know what I'm talking
I
about.
do.
It's that intentional time. And it can be a meditation. It's visual imagery.
Yeah.
We have within ourselves abilities that we are all born with. Some people, gifts, whatever you want to call it, we are all brought into this world with something special to offer.
Yeah.
That's where the magic is.
No,
Finding
I think
that.
that's great.
That's what I'm working on.
And talk about this a little bit, because
Mhm.
witchcraft and being a witch is not the same as Wiccan. I mean, they can overlap, but it's totally different. I shouldn't say totally
Wiccans can
different,
be
but
witches and witches can be Wiccans,
right.
but you don't have to
to
be
be
a
a
witch to
Wiccan
be
to
a
be
Wiccan,
yeah.
and you don't have to be Wiccan to be a witch. Wiccan is it's a religion.
Right.
Now, it's not one I practice
Yeah.
or subscribe to, but I've said this before. I don't care as long as you're not hurting kids, animals, and old people. You do you.
Right.
Those are my rules.
So you stopped putting kids in cages years ago, and
Yeah,
the whole
yeah.
Hansel and
And they
Gretel
just
things.
well, it was a cholesterol thing for me.
Yeah, I get
So
that.
no.
Jeez Louise. Oh my God.
Honestly, all of the visual imagery when you say the word witch, what do you think? You think the black robe, you think the
Yeah.
broom, you think the
Right.
pointy hat, you think Halloween.
Right.
That's Hollywood.
Right.
That's not
Right.
reality. This is what a witch looks like.
That's right.
You are what a witch looks like. You'd be surprised how there's more of us out there than people realize.
Well, and
Probably
back in
living
the
next door.
1600s, we'd both been screwed. I mean, really, they'd have slung us both up.
They would. And if you think about it, witches have been persecuted from the 1600s forward
Yeah.
because we wanted to help people. Seriously, because we wanted to help people. So how is that a bad thing? It's really not. And nobody told anybody that it was wrong until some person decided it was.
Right.
So no, I'm not doing anything wrong.
No, you're helping people.
I'm helping
Trying to.
people. My
Yeah.
heart is pure
Right.
in my intention. Now, like I said, there's a dark side to this. I never, and I have a steadfast rule, never practice when I'm upset. Upset can mean sad,
Mhm.
angry, never, ever when I'm angry. Are there things out there that could influence, just like I said, you want clear out this line and a car will
Mhm.
move. We all have this ability to affect change around us. What you do with that is a personal choice.
Right.
Um,
Tell me what, you say you never do it when you're angry. Is the
mm,
danger in that it won't work, or is the danger that something negative could come from it? Like it could conjure something more on the dark side without you even realizing.
oh, it works.
Yeah.
um, I'm a believer in paying a karmic price. So have people made me mad and I wanted to stuff them in a jar somewhere? You better believe it. Have I thought about it? Sometimes. And then I stop myself
Yeah.
because they're not worth it. I personally am not willing to ever pay the karmic price for the dark energy, for the dark work.
Right. Right.
I mean, I deal with enough crap as it is, people I lose my temper with on the phone. All of that stuff comes back to you.
No,
And
you're right.
so do it right the first time going around and spread a little love and joy. There's nothing
So,
wrong with that.
I'd love to talk a little bit about, we've discussed this a little bit on the phone, but I'd like to talk about free will and how that plays
Mm.
into some of this. We've talked about that and how you don't want to mess with free will. And to a certain extent,
No.
I'm still confused about how you even can do that. You know, and if you remember, I asked you, if someone came to you and said, well, would you do a love spell and make this person love me? And you said, well, you can't really make them love you. So you can't really
No,
do
you
that
can't.
anyway. Where does the free will fall in?
We all do have free will.
Hmm.
Um, have you ever met someone that you just know is so gullible? And if you told them that the sky was falling, they would run for cover.
Yes.
They're easily manipulated.
Hmm.
Yes, people can easily manipulate, but only weak-minded. So, yeah, when you talked the love spell, we did talk about that. I'm personally not a fan of what the standard person calls a love spell. I feel like it's trying to start a marriage with a kidnapping.
Yeah, and
You,
that's how you
you
related it. Yeah. But if you were
it,
strong-willed, it wouldn't have happened, probably.
no, no.
That's what I mean.
Weak-minded people are easily
Yeah.
influenced,
Yeah.
and energy. That's what this is. Bottom line, all magic. I don't care white, green, black. It's all energy.
Right.
So I lost my train of thought. I guess where I'm going, we're not just spectators in this world. We have the ability to affect change in our lives and those around us with intention, which is the root of magic. But you just have to be willing to put it out there. You have
Right.
to be brave a little bit because, I mean, it's not easy coming out of any kind of closet, especially in this world that we're in. We live in a very judgmental, non-accepting.
Shout out to Joe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Hi.
agree. I agree. And I think you and I have talked about this coming out of the psychic closet.
Mhm.
Um, it's
Everybody
one of
thinks
the
you're a little
things
bit
we talk
crazy.
about. And it's funny. I had this conversation with someone recently who's very much into this stuff, very fascinated by
Mhm.
it. I said, you're not. I mean, not everyone is like you. I've encountered some people who I think I'm crazy. Most of them, I think, keep their mouths shut because if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. But I get the
Mhm.
vibe. You know what I mean? I'm intuitive, but I
Mhm.
think that it really is something that I knew I couldn't do this without. I had to make a declaration. It was crazy.
Mhm.
I told my parents, listen, this is the way it is, and they didn't understand it. My father's an engineer. My mother was really
Mhm.
into this stuff, but why you? I don't know why me.
Mhm.
I don't know. But then I went out and I really did it. I put it out there because I knew there was no way I was ever going to be able to do readings and do shows and all this other stuff that I'm doing and keep it from certain people. You just can't do that.
Yeah.
And so you need to surround yourself with like-minded people who support you. Do I understand witchcraft? No. I mean, that's because I've not been, I mean, I'm interested in it. I'm fascinated by it, but
Well, it's like, I don't understand mediumship.
no,
I could not do what you do, and I would never. I'm glad I don't have that gift, because I personally don't think it. I don't know that I would take it as a gift. It would be difficult for me to live that way.
yeah. I mean, I understand
So
that. I take it as a gift when you see the healing take place. And it's the same with you. Do you know what I mean? When you see
yeah,
the healing, and I had a reading today, and the girl had lost her boyfriend, rather tragically. And that's what she said to me. I really found healing tonight. I really found healing in this reading. And that, I think that's
that's what
where it
it's about.
is. That's where it is.
That's what it's about.
It's what it's all about.
When people tell me, the people that I have in my home, and I much prefer to hands-on. Um, I can do consults and stuff with other people and, distance, but I pick up on energy, not just from talking to people, but feeling their energy.
Yep.
And when I have someone that I'm working on, and I am I'm digging deep. I am putting all of the white light that I have into this person to help ease their pain, their suffering, and the tears will just begin, and they just release. And one, knowing that they're in a safe space, but to feel that healing take place in that moment, that's what it's about. Man.
It really is.
That's what it's about right there.
And I don't want to get into this too much because I know next week I've got your two other sisters coming on. The Solstice sisters are coming
Yes.
on. I think what you three do together as a unit is really quite magical. You've got the medium, the healer, and the witch, and
Mhm.
together there is this thing you do. And I really, I can't wait to be a guinea pig for you when I see the three of you again in person. But it's pretty special, and I
It's
think
pretty
that,
powerful to be a part
yeah,
of it.
I would
I mean,
imagine.
just to be, and the way our energies will blend,
Yeah,
it's really cool to watch. Even I'm just seeing the pictures of us when we've done it, and things. I can recall the moment and the things that we just do instinctively. We don't even really have to talk a whole lot,
just
which is a
works.
beautiful thing to have that connection with them. But
Have you noticed anything on the photos? I'd be curious with all the energy flying around if there's ever anything that
I-
comes out in the
you
photo.
know, I never paid attention to it. We've never shared any of them. I'll have to go back and look back through, and of course, we know what that means.
Well,
I'll
yeah.
have to blow it up and take my time. But yeah,
That's all right. But
I
but
do
you
good with
know,
my
it's
5%.
something to look at when we're together, and just to see
I,
if
w-
anything comes out.
you know, I have a fleer when we're together
Oh,
in Texas. Would love if you would take some of the pictures of us
yeah, like
working
the FLIR
that
photos,
that
FLIR camera.
shows, because you can see all the even the temperature change. I have a picture of Dana at an investigation. Um, and it was I was, the thermal, and you can literally, she went, shh, hang on. And you'd have to know her to know that's a Dana thing. Shh. And she'll do like this. And then on the FLIR, you could see it. You could see
Uh,
the energy she was putting out. It was crazy. So I was
well,
able to catch that too.
that's so funny because I've never seen that when I'm reading either, and I wonder what's radiating, if anything.
Well, I mean, those things pick up temperature. So it's cool. I'll have to show you the
Yeah,
picture. I
yeah,
know
looking
she
forward to
won't
it.
mind. It's really very
And and
cool.
and we can talk about some of that next week when they're on the show.
Mhm.
But in terms of what you do and the magic, how does it work? Do you know how it works?
That's that's the big question, isn't it? That's what we all want to know.
Well, I can't
Um,
tell you how mediumship works. I know that it does. I just don't know why.
and there's your answer.
Yeah.
I believe, and I have faith, and I feel it. I know what I've experienced. I know what what I feel. I know when I'm connected to divine energy. It's an experience. And I'm 56 years old. I have been doing this a very long time.
It's interesting. You don't have any warts or anything, but I think, you know, another
Well,
3 or
not that you
400
can see.
years. Oh my God.
But I've seen too much to not believe.
Yeah,
There's
right.
been too much happen. Now, does it work every single time out of the chute? No. But I don't know anything that does.
No, and it's the same thing with mediumship. I can't read everybody. You know, I think people who say, I can read anybody, you want to talk to your dead grandmother? I'll talk to your dead grandmother. I mean, it doesn't work that way. It's not like
No.
that. And you know, you want to talk about free will. They have as much free will as we do, and they have
Yep.
the right to not talk to me. You know, just because
Mhm.
you're sitting with me doesn't mean that they're going to choose me to deliver their message. I hope they will, but sometimes maybe they won't, you know?
Exactly. Well, see, and that's where, I mean, the universe still has everybody believes differently. I do believe in one divine, all-seeing power. And, but I also believe that power has given us free will. That's where our gifts come from. That's where energy comes from. And so I work with that. But I guess it goes back to the faith thing and what I've seen and experienced. You know, people from the 1600s, if they'd seen a car today, you know, right now, they would be freaking out. It's something straight out of the pits of hell. It's
Oh my God.
evil. It's terrible because they don't understand it. And that's what's wrong. People are afraid of what they fear, or, well, afraid of what they don't understand.
Correct.
That's a big source of fear. I'm guilty of that as well. I mean, when it comes to all kinds of things, I'm not afraid of ghosts, obviously. Aliens terrify me, but it's unknown. I've been doing this once again long enough and had so many experiences that someone from the other side doesn't frighten me at all. I'm going to do everything I can to try to help them facilitate getting their message across if they want to.
And I think
But
there's a difference between, you know, well, and not to get off the witchcraft thing, but I really think that there's a difference between some of the souls that are stuck in a place like an asylum where they've been, you know, led
yes,
terrible lives and you know they're
yes.
reliving that. There's a difference between that and say the gentleman that came through on the reading today saying, you know, I love you and I'm sorry I put you in this situation. And you know,
Hmm.
these are the kinds of things that I see when I do readings, and I think it's
Hmm.
fascinating. But nothing to be feared. Nothing to be feared.
No,
And we
no,
don't,
and
and like you, we don't deal in darkness. So there's nothing there that's dark.
no, and so there's nothing to fear. But and I welcome questions. Anybody that has any questions when it comes to what I do, I love it when they're open and they visit my home and they'll peek
Right.
in and I'm like, come on in, let me show you.
Yeah.
And they're like, you have an altar. Well, yeah, that's where I do my work. And then they see all the herbs and then they get to talking and like, this really isn't that scary. I expected it to be all black and da, 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 da. I'm like, no, that's an aesthetic. Do I have a
Yeah.
couple of sugar skulls and stuff around because I think they're cool? Yeah. But I it's you can feel the energy that I work with. Let me put it that way.
Right. Hi, Greg.
You
How are
you
you?
can Hi, Greg.
You know,
Yeah, I've had people tell me when they come in, they can feel, and I've had people that I would not invite into that space,
mhm,
and they can feel that too. They
interesting.
don't want to come in.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You know, I want to open this up to people too. If anybody
mhm,
has questions for Christina, this is a really good time. We are going to do a little spell towards the end of the show, but
mhm.
how much time do you think we need for that?
3 or 4 minutes.
Okay, so we still have some time to chat. I didn't want to cut you off at all with that.
Yeah.
Um, but anybody that's here, that's watching, if you have any questions for Khristina, please put it in the chat wherever you're watching, and we can talk about it. Also, Khristina, where
Mhm.
can people reach you if they have questions? And certainly if they, want to
I'm
know about
I'm
what
all
you
over
do.
the social. I'm all over social media. I don't TikTok because I'm just not a video person.
Yeah.
Um, I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I mean, I'm easy to find. You can
Yeah.
even message
Going.
through the show, and I'm sure you'd forward it on to me. So I'm
Absolutely.
really not hard to find. But
Yeah.
people show up in my inbox all the time. Do I do spell work for people? Yes, when I feel led to. Just because I'm asked doesn't mean I will. Their intentions need to be pure of heart, and they
Hmm.
need to understand all ramifications. Just like with anything, any energetic transactions that
Hmm.
we take, there's always some sort of price to be paid. Have you ever been to the grocery store and they just gave you that loaf of bread when you asked for it?
Right. No,
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 you
never.
had to pay for it. So and payment can be different things. It can be time spent with a deity, offering quiet reflection, offerings to whichever divine energy you work with. Um, there's so many different ways. I make offerings. I have places on my altar and I keep that open. I light candles and put it all together. And I release that energy.
So you say you don't do spell work all that often, but what's an idea of a spell? Like what kinds of things would you do that you would feel comfortable
For
with?
other people or just for me?
Well, whatever. I mean, someone comes to you. What sort of things would you feel comfortable doing?
Healing, of course, I'm always
Yeah.
happy to do. Um, and I know this is might freak people out, but this is that energy thing. I like to have a personal thing from the person that needs the healing.
Hmm.
Not necessarily a thing, a piece of hair, a string from your clothing, just something that's going to give me your energy
Okay.
is
Yeah.
what it is. And I keep all of them together and I work my healing spell repeatedly.
Hmm.
That's something I do probably almost monthly. I would say almost monthly. And anyone that I have ever done any kind of healing work for, they're included always.
Hmm.
So I'm always putting positive energy, healing energy, that just love back out there.
How is the spell different from, let's say, a prayer? People who pray, who have a religion and they pray, is it similar?
There's going to be people that are not going to be happy about this. I actually call what I do is active prayer
Hmm.
because it's not simply closing my eyes and thinking in my head. I will chant out loud. I burn candles. I draw sigils and release that energy. I will burn plants to bring that specific energy or property to the situation.
Hmm.
Um, but it's really not that different.
Yeah. Because when you said,
So,
you pray, I mean, I know people, they go on a prayer list, and there's all these
mhm,
people on a prayer list and they're praying for, health or for recovery or
mhm,
whatever it is. And
mhm.
and to a certain degree, the
That's
intention's
what I'm.
there in the
The
same way.
intention is there. Just because the way I do it looks different doesn't mean it's dark or evil or bad. It just looks different to you.
I have a question here. I'm going to put it up on the screen.
Okay, you
Uh,
might need to read it to me.
yeah, that's right. From Dr. Michael Walker. What about the blue magic third realm we practice in Cloudcroft, New Mexico? Are you familiar with that?
I, Dr. Walker, I am honestly unfamiliar with that.
Can you share a
If
little
you
light
have
with that on anything, Dr. Walker, if
blue
you could
magic
share?
in the third, if there's anything that you could send to me, I would love to learn more. I'm always open to learning about other kinds of of witchcraft and magic that's practiced, but I honestly have never heard that. That's very interesting. There's so much. The metaphysical world in and of itself is, I don't think that there's any such thing as an expert when it comes to this,
How can there
because
be an
I know
expert
what
in
I
something
do.
like this? Yeah,
But
exactly.
see, there's so much that I don't know, and I've been around a while. So
He says
yeah,
biblical references to third heaven. I don't know.
I'm not familiar with that, but now I've got to look into it and find out.
Yeah.
So seriously, if you have any links that you could share with us, please send them.
Yeah, and that's what I
I'd
love
love to
about
talk
doing
and
this
learn
show is
more.
we do meet a lot of people who know a lot of things. I mean, we certainly are not the authority on any of this stuff, really.
No, no,
You
and
know, it
I
was
don't ever pretend to be.
no, it's funny because I had someone come to me for a reading and they said, "Can you tell me my spirit guide's name?" And I thought, so look, I can give you a name. Sure, his name's Clarence. But how are you gonna how are you ever gonna prove that? I don't know. I mean, and I only will do things that are verifiable, you know, that are
Hmm.
verifiable. In other words, your loved one comes through and they give you things that you can understand. Well, that to me is worth doing. But it's
Hmm.
this stuff about, well, what was I back in a past life? I mean, really and truly, even if I felt I had an idea, how do you prove it? How do you validate that? So I think
Well,
that,
I don't. I guess that can be individual with validating some of the things, but so you're referring to things that you can actually prove.
I like things that, I mean, I bring people through to deliver messages, right? I deliver messages
Hmm.
for people that are coming through. And
Hmm.
if they say, I'm a dad, died of a heart attack, I had 3 boys, one of them broke his leg just before I passed. I mean, I'm using this as an example, right?
Right, right.
And they can validate that. It gives them peace and understanding that their dad must be somewhere here because I don't know these people and they're communicating all these things to me. But if I
Hmm.
tell someone your spirit guide was a Native American and this was his name, and well, okay, that's great. And maybe it gives you a name to call him, but I don't know that he has a name. I don't know that I would ever get that name. Do you know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
I don't trust it enough. If it was something that they could validate, perhaps you could say, oh, in a past life, um, you were an explorer out in the wilderness. I'm just using that as an example. Oh my
Right.
God. And I that's why I've had an affinity all my life to be, I have a cabin up in the woods and that, so maybe you could get some kind of validation with that. But I think
Hmm.
with the other stuff, I really just want to help people, but I don't know how that helps people if it's just
Mm.
it's not
Oh,
show magic. Do you know what I mean? That's not what this is.
well, it's like when people come to me with the love spells, and I always spend a little time to counsel when they're requesting something like that. Well, have you done the work? Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you spoken to this person? Do they know how you feel? They're wanting something to happen without putting in any kind of work or
Yeah.
effort.
Yeah.
I don't work with that kind of magic. You
Yeah.
have to do some of the work. You have
Right.
to be
Right.
invested, not financially, with your energy. You
Right.
have to be invested. People come to you for healing. And if have you ever encountered somebody that really didn't want the message, even though they told you they did, they really didn't want to hear it.
I've had people come through and like, well, that's not who I came here to speak to. Well, that's who's here. I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Well,
Chris-
you can only call. I mean,
Yeah.
if they don't
Christina,
answer the phone, they don't answer the phone.
I think we should do the spell. And I didn't mean to cut you off. We have about 10
Mhm.
minutes left. So I think that'll
Okay.
give us a chance to do it. And then we can,
Okay.
so I have my candle. And if anybody wants to take part in this from home, whether you have an electric candle or a regular candle, I have my little white candle right here.
You've got a white candle. Okay. I'm going to be using a blue candle because
Okay.
colors do have
Mhm.
something to do in magic, and this piece which is our goal tonight, is to share goodwill and peace. Blue. But if you don't have blue, white is a universal because it encompasses all the colors. So you can always use a white candle in magic. Now, I am going to put a little bit of a symbol. This is simply a selenite pencil. You can use a fingernail, it doesn't matter. Just anything you can even use an actual pen and write in the wax. But I'm going to carve on here the words peace and healing. Okay. All right. All right, I'm trying to use my where is my candle holder? Oh well, I'm just gonna hold it. Okay.
Are you lighting it?
I'm just getting ready to.
Okay.
I'm gonna have everything ready
We
here.
should light our candles because mine's not lit.
Okay. You can go ahead, and if you're going to write on your candle, go ahead. If you're not, I encourage you to just hold it, and I'd like you to visualize peace and just happiness. And I'm gonna have to be creative here. Just one second. Okay. Right. And we'll go ahead and light your candle. Now I've written a spell that I'm going to recite as it burns. I'm going to set this right here. You got your candle lit?
It's all lit.
Okay. In the realm of twinkling lights and winter's embrace, let peace be the song that resonates through every space. As carols fill the air, may harmony prevail, weaving a tapestry of love that will never fail. Let hearts be kind and minds be still as we gather together, fulfilling the goodwill. Amidst the chaos and rush, let peace be our guide, a beacon of solace where tranquility resides. As snowflakes gently fall, covering the ground, may peace blanket our souls, spreading joy all around. Let laughter echo through the night as we celebrate delight. In a world so vast, with diverse beliefs and views, let understanding and compassion be the muse. Embracing differences, finding common ground, let peace be the bridge where unity is found. Let acceptance and tolerance be our decree, for a world bound by peace is where we yearn to be. As families gather and loved ones reunite, may peace be the gift that ignites every light. Let forgiveness mend broken bonds, healing wounds long endured as we come together, cherishing love's allure. Let kindness be our anthem, sung by all, as we answer peace's beckoning call. So let us raise our voices in a chorus of hope, spreading peace like a wildfire, helping humanity cope. For in this season of giving and cheer, let peace be the guiding star that draws us near. Let us embrace this holiday's grace, and may peace forever find its place. So mote it be.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And then you're just going to let your candle continue to burn. You can leave it in a safe place. And the intention that you have just placed in to that and joining us here tonight listening to the spell, we're all releasing that energy
Beautiful.
to share a little love and goodwill and healing for all.
God knows we need it.
Yeah,
And
we do.
I really want to thank those that have been here with us tonight and took part in this. And, Dr. Walker, thank you for sharing with us as well. I'm just looking here. You wish you knew if your father is happy with you and passed when you were in medical college in the 80s. I think that I'm not doing a reading right now. I'm not picking up on anybody, but I'm sure that he is. And I want to thank you for being here. I think it's not lost on me that you are a doctor. It isn't often that there are doctors. I don't know if you're medical college, so you must be a physician. A lot don't believe in this type of thing. They are very turned off by it. But I will tell you, when I was in New Jersey this past September, I met a man who was a physician, who was a full-blown medical medium. And not that that is how he treats his patients, but it definitely does play a very, very significant role. It's another tool in his arsenal that he always backs up with real tests and real, concrete things, but he uses it as a tool in his arsenal. And so it's nice to see someone that gets this and has an interest in understanding it. So thank you for being here. I appreciate that. University of Arkansas. Yeah. Thank you for being here, doctor. And, I welcome you, anyone that's here, to reach out to Khristina for her healing, or the Solstice Sisters. They'll be on next week for any of their sessions. I do readings if anybody would like to book a reading with me. And if you're in the Massachusetts area, I have a bunch of shows coming up. We are next Thursday night, we're in New Bedford at Merrill's on the waterfront, New Bedford Harbor. So we do still have some tickets for that. We have another one in January that's already sold out. But February, we have two more. We have one in Westport, Mass, and another one in Canton, Massachusetts. I like working with other mediums. I really do. I think it brings a really great energy to the room. So we have that going on, and we're booking another show for March at the Rochester Center for the Performing Arts. So we're doing one there in March. We're just putting the final touches. Dr. Walker, can I get each of your websites? Do you have a website, Khristina, that you want to share? Let me see.
BlackRavenTrading.com. That's where all
of
of my products are, my teas and tinctures and salves. And you can reach me that way. You can also reach me on Facebook. I'm super easy to find.
And I put mine there as well. I'll scroll across the bottom. So there it is. Black Raven Trading and mediumscottallan.com. And we have just about a minute left. Khristina, this has been really wonderful. And I love when we do our little shows together alone. And you folks, if you share with us and let us know if you'd like to see more of this. I just love doing our shows together. And
you're always fun,
to
Scott.
do a few more of those in the future where it's us talking about things that mean the world to us. So I appreciate all of you, and I'm so glad that you were here, and I'm so glad you could be a part of bringing peace into the world. On that note, my friends, have a wonderful, wonderful week. We'll see you right here next week on the Paranormal Project. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you. Maybe. Hello, Chanel. We're still here. Well, I'd say keep talking, but I think she's asleep at the wheel. Where are we?
No, we got 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Oh, we got 5 minutes. Never mind. Oh, you know what?
Well, can I say that you can catch the Solstice Sisters in Texas? January at the the Lone Star Paracon. I was unprepared.
Lone Star Paracon.
We will be at the Lone Star Paracon, and we will have our own event Sunday, Solstice Sisters Sunday.
That's right.
It's going to be a great wrap up. There'll be a whole lot of healing. It'll be fun from the weekend.
That is going to be a good time. And
Yeah.
and your event is at the Beauregard Mansion in San Antonio. If anyone's listening from the San Antonio area, in and around that area in Texas, what is happening at the Beauregard Mansion? Is it you'll be doing your Triple Goddess? Is that what that is? Or
Yes, yes. We will be doing individual sessions, and we'll have a very limited number available for the Triple Goddess because it requires all three of us to be involved. But it's Solstice Sister Sunday. You can get tickets at everydayparanormal.com. The Kling brothers,
okay.
you
Mhm.
remember, they're cool guys. They're going to be on the show soon too. So
Coming on in a few
that's going
weeks
to
as
be a lot
well
of
to talk
fun.
about the Paragon. The Kling brothers had the show. They were on last year. We had them on the show last year. They had the
Mhm.
show Ghost Lab way
Yeah,
back when, like when Ghost Hunters was first coming out. So
they were
yeah,
some of
and
our
we're gonna
pioneers.
yeah, they truly were. And we're gonna try to get some interviews with some people while we're there to bring that to you. We won't do it live. We'll record them, but I think it'd be really cool to get some perspective on Texas and who's there, because there are going to be some big names showing up at this event, so it should be a good time.
It is. It's going to be fun. Now I can tell you there's really only a couple of tickets left for the Solstice Sister Sunday. I did find that out.
Well, good for
So,
you. How great is that?
oh good. Sorry. Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, what happened? I didn't hear anything. What happened?
I don't know. I'll find out when I hang up.
Oh dear. Yeah.
It's okay. There's
Um,
there's people in my house, so
yeah. Oh gosh. Well, and while I'm there, I plan to visit a few of my exes who live in
they're
Texas.
all in Texas.
They're all
Yeah.
in Texas. That's where I banish them to when they when we're done.
I'll bring
Go.
lots of big hair. I'm bringing
Bring
big
lots of
hair and
big hair.
boots.
Yeah, yeah. We can do a roller set with beer cans. You'll fit right into the thing.
I've done them with Campbell soup cans back in the
There
80s.
you go. There you go. Oh my God. Like if you could walk out of the hair
Oh man.
salon, if you didn't have to walk out sideways, your hair wasn't done right back then. I tell you, you had to.
Bigger the hair, the
I don't
happier
know
you
what we
were.
were thinking back then. I gotta tell you, I don't know what we were thinking. And I don't know what I was thinking either. I think I was at a time glitch. Like, how did I finish 5 minutes early? I never do that.
I don't know. I can't see, so I rely on you for that stuff. I just follow the lead.
Well, clearly, I'm not very good at seeing either. So, you know,
Listen, only
uh,
one of us gets to be blind. Stay in your lane.
yes,
Yeah.
stay in your lane. Oh, I can't see well without my glasses. I might as well be blind. Everything is like this. It's completely a blur. I can see nothing. I can't read. I can't do anything. I just see a blur. But fortunately, I have eyesight that can be corrected to a certain degree with glasses. And I'm also deaf. So there you go. I mean, it's, between the two of us,
Well, we make a pair, blind and deaf.
We do make a deer. Yep. Next time we go, you drive, I'll navigate. We'll
I've
figure out
really been wanting to pull up somewhere behind the wheel just to freak people out. I think
just
it'd
to
be
freak
fun.
people out. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh my gosh.
With my guide dog in the seat,
Yeah, there you go. So we really are coming to the end of the show in about 20 seconds. So again, thank you all for being here. It really is truly a pleasure to do this show with you. I just love it. We have such a good time. Hang on after the show, Khristina. A couple of things we'll chat about, but we will see you next week here with your counterparts, the lovely Solstice Sisters. On that note, it really is a good night, everybody. Have a great week. Take care.
Okay.
You've been listening to the Paranormal Project Radio Show with Scott Allan and Khristina Bowen. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. While you're there, leave us a rating and review. We'll be back next week with more exciting guests. Now go out there and explore the paranormal.